We'll go ahead and get this thing started then. Welcome in to another episode of Where the Game Lives On, the official podcast of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. If you are wondering, the Byron Shive hiatus continues. That is not intentional. That was not entirely planned, I don't think. It just so happened to fall that way. But we've got Taylor Frederich joining us again back in the studio. I haven't seen you in a while, man.
I feel like I haven't been here in a while, so it's good to be back. Spent a little time with some friends on vacation last week down in Mexico. So hitting the ground running right off the bat this morning. So.
No doubt. You look a little tan. You've got a little of that
little tan, little raspy. Still kind of getting the feet under me. Good night of sleep last night, but the travel day back home is always the worst day. Kind of takes it out of you, but. Always good to be back in your own bed. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't. Where were you at in Mexico, if you don't mind me asking?
We went down to Cabo.
So you lost time on the way back.
Yeah, so we lost time on the way back, so that's even worse. We just went down there with 5 couples, went down there, again, spent a little time. The 6 of us got to play golf down there. The 6 guys that were down there got to play golf one bright and early one morning. And so that was a good afternoon. But yeah, we had nothing but good times, good weather, and good company. So
awesome. So do you travel with your clubs or do you rent clubs?
We rented clubs,
Okay.
But thankfully the clubs were, pretty nice. So again, didn't have to really worry about anything like that. And quite frankly, the equipment's not going to affect my score much anyway. So it doesn't really matter if we're playing with the newest editions or if we're playing with like persimmons. So like it's all.
I feel like that's a debated topic though among like probably more avid golfers than us. But it's like, why would I go play Torrey Pines and not use my own clubs?
Right.
But at the same time, you risk losing your clubs whenever you have to check them,
Sure. And one thing, not in the same area, but the tour was in Mexico. The Vedanta Open at Puerto Vallarta was this past week. And so was down there at the same time as the tournament. I actually talked to Rico a week ago or so, and he was going down there to advance that tournament. So he was down there as well, but
nice.
Again, in entirely different parts of the country. But had a tour event down there at the same time I was down there.
I'm looking it up right now. I believe it was a rookie that won it.
Jake Knapp. I don't know if he had I have not looked if he played here or not whenever he was on the Korn Ferry Tour. But he's one of the guys who I understand didn't really miss a lot of cuts whenever he was on the KFT tour. I think that I saw somebody, Smiley Kaufman, was predicting at the beginning of this year that he would be a top 50 golfer. Again, he's kind of putting his money where his mouth is, right now in terms of producing, out there. So young talent, and I think you're starting to see that a lot, whether that be a result of deflections or what it is, but you're going to have some stars that are starting to rise. And a lot of these young guys who are coming, graduating from the Korn Ferry Tour in the past couple of years have a great opportunity right now.
They've got a really good rookie class.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Knapp here.
Yeah,
the blonde flow, the blonde stash.
Seeing that's always one thing that I think is so fun. Even just kind of being able to keep an eye on the tour, and I think Ben Silverman finished maybe top 5, 10,
really?
Possibly. I don't know. I know he was on the leaderboard whenever I was taking glances at it. So again, anytime you have representation. Let alone from a former champion or just, people who've been here, that's awesome whenever you see that.
Absolutely. I'm looking back at our results at the Price Cutter in 23, guys that got their cards. So you've got Silverman, he finished T2. You got the Cootie twins. Both of them, are looking to make a splash this year. Chandler Phillips finished T2 as well. Jake Knapp, he was here. He shot 7 under on Sunday, and he finished tied for 7th. So Yeah, it's always cool for us.
Yeah, he's no stranger to low scores, obviously.
No, yeah, for sure.
Under on a Sunday. So good for him. That's I think the very, very high ceiling for somebody like him.
Absolutely. We like seeing all those guys whenever it's just really cool whenever you can see that talent here in Springfield and then see them, making those kind of moves on the big stage and stuff. So we're getting busy with that too. Price cutter's starting to kick up here. It's golf weather.
Yeah, I mean
it's early, but
it's right around the corner. Once spring is upon us, it is really, really time to get going with the tournament, and really, there's no slowing down, especially this year with a lot of change. A lot of changes and things that we are doing related to infrastructure and stuff for the tournament is going to require a little bit more planning than just go do the same thing as we've done the past X number of years. So again, with a lot of those new things, again, is going to require a lot more attention. And again, that means starting right now.
Yeah, obviously this is the official podcast of the Hall of Fame, but we know several of our listeners also are very in tune with the Price Cutter Charity Championship. We've got a lot of exciting things coming. Again, we like to say not reinventing the wheel, but just some new things that are going to be coming in. Some builds might be looking different, some things like that. This next month in March, it's a tentative date, but towards the back end of this month, really keep an eye out for, us dropping event dates, getting some new things out there that people are going to be excited for. So keep an eye out for that.
It's going to be new. It's going to be exciting, and it's the tournament has been in need of the rejuvenation, and I think that's exactly what we're doing this year with it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's we're pretty stoked about it. We always kind of are, though, but we hope it's well received by the public as well. You've been in Mexico. You were telling me, have you been staying in tune with any sports or anything?
So the only thing that I feel like we can't get away without talking about is a court storm.
Oh my goodness.
So that
I watched that game.
Yeah. I really haven't even talked about it with anybody. So this is going to be my really first time, even kind of, giving any kind of opinion about it, I guess, one way or another. Understand the those who are in the opposition of it. However, that is, in my mind, that is such a staple in college sports, in college basketball, that I would hate to see it go away. Now I think that they're going to have to probably make it go away. There's two incidents this year with two star players, with Caitlin Clark and Flip. So I don't know. I would hate to see it go away again. I have fond memories growing up of watching court storms as a 10-year-old on, Sports Center. I thought that was the coolest thing, and, wanted to be a part of something like that. So again, you would hate to, I say deprive, you'd hate to deprive those college kids of that experience and that celebration. But, you hate the safety of the players are kind of being jeopardized a little bit.
It's unfortunate. I think that, it's kind of been one of those things for a while where people are like, how do we let this happen? And it's kind of two-sided because, like you said, it's very college sports. It's very, very it's just, you don't see that in the pros. You see it in college and you love to see it, and you don't love to see people get hurt though. And I think that it was a big red flag whenever it happened to Caitlin Clark, because obviously she is the biggest name probably in all of college basketball, not just women's college basketball.
With that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but she fortunately didn't get hurt, but it just raises the alarms. Right. And then now you're looking, I'm not sure what they've diagnosed Filipowski with. I was
about to ask. I don't even really know what the extent of the injury is.
I don't think it's come out. To me, in the moment, and this is speculation, it looked to me like a high ankle sprain. Somebody stepped on him essentially as they were storming the court. But now you're not looking at just, this was a fluke accident, like where it was Caitlin Clark and she's all right. He might be out for a period of time, and they're a contender, no doubt, even though they lost on the road to Wake Forest. This could affect their season. And when you start getting that added, into the conversation, people are going to start looking at it and saying, all right, we've got to,
probably the extent of the injury is probably something that is going to come into effect with, any kind of let's say for whatever reason it is a upper ankle sprain and he's out for 4 weeks, or something like that. That's a really bad time to be out. I mean, that's the season. I mean, basically. Yeah. Right. So again, not saying it's that, but if it is that, you certainly think that the NCAA is going to take that into consideration. It's not the court storming cost him to miss a couple days of practice. It cost him to, a chance at an ACC title or whatever it is. But yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen with that. But again, I think that there are too many people who I think are highly respected in the game of college basketball who have voiced their opinions against it that I have seen. And again, not saying that, those opinions are superior to others necessarily, but I think that, whenever those kind of guys, the Jay Billises of the world and whatnot, make those kind of comments, I think they don't take those necessarily with the smallest grain of salt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're looking at right now, we're about 2 weeks away from conference tournaments, right? Which means we're a little over 3, I would say, probably from the tournament itself starting, or does it start the same weekend?
First weekend is March 21 through 24.
So about 3 weeks away.
From March. So that'll be the opening weekend of it. So, like I said, really bad time to absolutely have any kind of injuries.
Even if that's like an ankle in basketball is nothing to play around with, but that's pushing to get back even for March Madness really at this point.
And I will say about that, and again, I have been very loosely keeping up with it. It didn't look that bad initially to me whenever I saw it. It kind of looked like he just got checked, but the more you saw it, again, you kind of see their knee, ankle, something kind of steps on, buckles kind of awkwardly. And again, you would hate to have any kind of extended injury, out for a long time. And again, I think you're going to have a result of something from the NCAA. And again, I don't know what it's going to take because, where do you draw the line? I mean, where do you draw the line? What is it? I mean, I think at some point they fine these schools or by the conference or something, but again, that hasn't stopped people for the last 60 years storming courts. So what's it going to take? Is it legal? Is it legal action? Are people going to be required to, hire legit security at these games or, what's it going to be? I have no idea.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because anytime you're storming the court, I mean, it's a big win. It's really great. Like for Wake Forest to beat a Duke anytime is a great win. But I don't think there's any partial regulation that you can have. No. It's just pure chaos when it happens. So it's not like you can say, okay, you can storm the court once we solidify that opponent players are off. You can't do that. It's just got to be all or nothing. And in this case, it's going to have to be nothing.
The court storm's all in the moment. That's what the fun part is running out and basically celebrating as that buzzer has instantly gone off. Yeah. That would seem it just wouldn't have the same flavor to, to say, get out there and, do it. But, at the risk of the players, who knows what's going to happen with it.
Yeah, so. We'll see. We'll take a quick break. We want to remind you, we've got the Champions Gala, first ever event of its kind that we're hosting on April 4th. It is a banquet ceremony style Q&A. We've got a special guest, Peyton Manning, coming into town. Tickets are on sale now. You can find information on that in the podcast description below. Tickets are going fast, so be sure to not miss out on your chance for a once in a lifetime opportunity. Honestly, to my understanding, Peyton's never been to the Midwest, or I should say Southwest Missouri. So we're very excited for it. We're also partnering with a couple local charities, so it's a great cause as well.
Hey, easy transition here. He was actually down in Cabo. Whenever I was in Mexico, I saw pictures of him with Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. They were so down there with like
Really?
the 49ers. So I'm not sure exactly like what the connection is, if it was one of those things that he, again, happened to run into him or, what it was. Obviously, I think that they were staying in places that were up here. And so I don't think we were really running around in the same resorts or the same neighborhoods necessarily. So did not have eyes on them, but again, saw pictures on social media that they were all down there. And again, I did text with Byron whenever I was down there. I was like, "Hey, Peyton's down here."
What a coincidence.
So
yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. I guess the 49ers did get a little head start on the vacation time.
That just, I think, is kind of a hotbed for travel for NFL players. I don't know if that's easy to get to from California for those guys, but it's a great destination. But anyway, I saw pictures of Peyton, but
not for Chiefs players though. Their destination is Branson, Missouri.
There you go.
That's the official destination of Kansas City Chiefs players.
Nothing like that.
This is the time of the year for me where I'm ready for like March Madness to start. This is sort of a lull. You know? I mean, NBA, NHL are kind of the only things going on. I don't follow either of those very closely. I know you follow NBA more. Here and there, certainly not really into any kind of baseball mode yet. For me, that takes really something special for me to even get into that mode. But anyway, I'm getting to. We put on the Hall of Fame puts on a breakfast for the final. The Final Four, so that's something that we always get to look forward to. I do get to take another little trip out with some buddies to go to Las Vegas for the first weekend of March Madness. So that'll be fun.
It's college basketball season for me now. In my head, it was football, and again now kind of transition to college basketball, and then we enter the dog days of summer from there. So.
Yeah, and that's golf season for us.
That is, and it's one of those things that we get so big. The Hall of Fame's calendar gets so busy that, and not that it's not busy all the time, but it's really just golf season for us. That's exactly what it is. So
well, I'm 5'5", so I've never been a big basketball guy, but being a college baseball player, I always kind of get that itch this time of year. And they start back college baseball. They start back so early. Week 0 is there at the beginning of February, but I like to follow that a little bit this time of year. I'm getting to the point now though where I've been so far removed from it. I don't have any dogs in the fight anymore. Right. There's always like your guys, your boys that you played with and stuff, and you want to see how they're doing and where they end up. And honestly, I'm old enough now. If any of them are still playing, they're like in their 7th year, and they're on like their 4th school. But hey, that's not dogging. That's
take
just
advantage of that COVID year, man.
Oh,
a lot of people did.
Okay, but I had that realization the other day that we're getting out of that now. Yeah, people. They're not. Guys
something interesting about that I've kind of thought about that we've talked about last season about unbreakable records, right? Those COVID years, and we might have even talked about it on that episode, but a lot of those like longevity, like games pitched or like games played, even something like that. Those are gonna have to have, in my opinion, some kind of asterisk on them because of all these added, those added years that these kids have gotten. They're never going to be able to be broken because they simply won't be able to play enough games.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, it is an interesting concept. College athletics has just changed a lot. I don't know if I geek about this. I don't know if this is anything you're in tune with. Did you see the NIL deal that the college football video game made for every single Division I football player?
It's got to be, what is it?
So this is the whole reason that the whole series stopped, right? Was because name, image, likeness, and there's been all this, legislation and there's been different, court rulings, different things. But now that we're in this modern era, it's coming back. They've offered every single Division I college football player the opportunity to be in the game. Okay. And if they sign to agree to that, they get $600 and a free copy of the game.
I was about to say, I thought it was like $500 or $600.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think it's, I don't know. Does it work for them? Are they, I don't know. To me, I've heard some guys say it sounds like a slap in the face. To me, I'm like, you got to remember they're dealing with thousands of guys here. They can't just give them a ton of money. But EA did mention that there's also going to be like individual other deals for guys to promote it on their social medias. And obviously you're going to have somebody on the cover. But yeah, it's just, that's the world of college athletics now.
Yeah. I mean, it's, again, forever. I know we've talked about it. Forever changing. And yeah, here's another, not necessarily transition to some way, but flying back yesterday, I watched BS High. I had not watched the Bishop Sycamore, the story about the fake high school that played IMG. And I learned so much about that. Roy Johnson, the guy who kind of did that. What a story that is. It very, very interesting. Anybody should watch it if any kind of interest in that.
I need to.
Yeah. And I very loosely knew, hey, this fake school got on ESPN on a game.
They played like IMG or something.
They played IMG and got beat by like 70 or something. Like it was crazy. But anyway, it goes into the stories of this coach, you know, the person who invented this school, and they interview the players and, you know, the moms and things with it, but very, very interesting of a story in terms of kind of really a con artist is what he was. Yeah. So
now this is the school that had like 19 and 20-year-olds playing on their high school.
And like, nobody, they never went to class, and like there wasn't a school. They were evicted. They put them in hotel rooms.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
This guy's got all sorts of lawsuits about him.
Yeah.
And, just a very, very interesting.
So what was did they have like a PO box for the school address?
So like they tried to affiliate themselves with like 2 or 3 different schools along the way. And then it'd be like this fake high school would be like, I'm an offshoot of like New Covenant Academy, like we're the, you know, or whatever it is, right? You know, and they would just go put these kids in hotel rooms and then not pay the bills for the hotel rooms and get evicted from the hotel rooms, and then so it was basically like, and then there was the PPP loans. This coach made them take out PPP, you know, the payroll protection through COVID, made them take out loans to give to him in the school. And I don't know, it was very, very intriguing on how far and deep this guy went.
Oh my goodness.
At times he basically is saying he was doing nothing wrong throughout the entire thing. And there are there are kids on that, you know, who trusted him. And it was a lot of individuals on the teams who didn't have a lot of male guidance in their lives, and, you know, and whether that be for their dad, you know, not being with us or being incarcerated or whatever it is, you know, he really kind of took that father figure role. So there was a vast deal of manipulation, and you know, that they put a lot of trust in this coach, and ended up really, really kind of ruining their lives to some regard, because all they wanted to do was, you know, put themselves in a position to better their lives and their families, get into college, do these things, which was promised to them. Yeah. And then, you know, now they're never going to be just, you know, Noah Tucker. They're Noah Tucker that was involved in the Bishop Sycamore. You know what I mean? So like they're always kind of tied to that. It's
almost like being a part of a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's just like in all these people, I mean, they've got, you know, like debt collectors, lawsuits against, you know, these kids because they were manipulated into filling out these, you know, getting these loans. And anyway, I think it said this guy has like 30 plus lawsuits against him now. Just from like the Baymont Inn and like, you know, Baymont Inn and Suites for like $100,000+. Oh my gosh. Because he just didn't pay any bills. Wouldn't the kids couldn't eat, basically. I don't know. It was just,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you really are. I mean, it was something that I very loosely remember. I mean, I remember it happening, and then I remember, hey, there was this fake school that was on ESPN. But then from there, I just didn't, whether it just fizzled out or I didn't pay attention to it at the time, I don't know. But I again had a flight and I was scrolling through looking for something to watch. I was like, I'm gonna dive into this.
That sounds like either prison time or chapter 11 or both.
So I don't know. And that's what I was. And again, I haven't even really had the opportunity to look to see where he is, what he's doing now. The latest is on it. But if everything that was said on this Netflix documentary or HBO, I think it was HBO, what was accurate, then I would be shocked if he's not in some kind of trouble.
What a deal! What a deal! We'll change gears here. We'll wrap up with some Missouri sports news. Something we haven't hit on in a while. The Kansas City Royals have announced their plans for a new stadium, and then earlier this week, the Kansas City Chiefs have made mention that they will be announcing their reimagined Arrowhead plans. That's supposed to be coming out sometime later today on day of release. So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. What do you want to see the old Chiefs do with maybe some more space?
Yeah, I was about to say, complex. You obviously have space at the sports complex now. I mean, I don't know. You've put the best product on the field the past 5-6 years, whatever. And not that Arrowhead is a bad stadium, but a lot of these, a lot of teams are getting these new state-of-the-art stadiums that are kind of, again, each one that gets built leaves another one in the dust. Yeah. It seems so. Yeah.
But I don't see the Chiefs ever leaving Arrowhead.
I don't either. Yeah. I don't either. Yeah. But I at least hope not. Or if they do,
there's too much history.
If they do, do you just do you tear down old Kaufman and just start from scratch and build it right there? I have no idea, but you would want it to obviously be, if you're going to do it, I guess do it big, and make it a top NFL stadium.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a simple-minded guy. I think I wouldn't mind it just becoming parking.
Yeah.
I genuinely, and we'll learn more later today in terms of what the possibilities are. I think they're going to, I don't think Kaufman's just going to sit there vacant. Yeah. They're going to do something with it. I think the more realistic possibility is everybody has these entertainment districts.
I was about to say ballpark village-esque type thing.
Yeah. And, I don't know if that really fits with Arrowhead, especially with the location. People aren't usually finding their way out there for anything other than a game.
Not really. You could I guess you could maybe see them doing a hotel, or something, something out there.
Have you ever been to Foxborough? Have you ever been to New England?
No.
They kind of have it's kind of like the Landing a little bit. It's like an outdoor mall type of thing. I think it might be something, and maybe a hotel is accompanied with that.
Yeah.
I think they want something to have people make their way out there on days other than just Sunday.
Yeah, it just sets right on that highway corridor. There's just really nothing else out there.
It's a busy intersection, but at the same time, it's not like centrally located. Like that's what the Royals are doing with the move.
Right.
Is they're moving to more of the hub of downtown type of, whereas I don't know, it'll be interesting, but you're right. The Chiefs definitely see this as we want something that mimics the brand we put out on the field.
And I think that is appropriate. And again, I think with obviously the move that the Royals are making opens up the possibilities of some of these expansions and things like that. I'm just happy that it put to bed the conversation, seemingly put to bed the conversation of them moving to Kansas or moving, kind of moving away. And, I think a variety of factors played into that. I think winning another Super Bowl here in, at Arrowhead played, Missouri played another bit of the factor in it. So I'm excited to see where they're going to go. It seems like, another thing they're going to do is lock Andy Reid up into a new contract, making him the highest paid coach in football is what the reports are saying, at least. So
wow.
again, that's something that again, you promise a new stadium. You can keep, again, you can keep coach around for a little while longer, see if we can't pile them on, and then have a stadium on the way out. So
absolutely. Well, we will see what is in store, both on and off the field, for the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, whatever it is that's going to be happening. You can be sure that we're going to be breaking it down right here on Where the Game Lives On. We appreciate you joining us for another episode. Want to remind you of the events we've got coming up. We've mentioned some of our latest ones coming up here earlier in the episode. We've also got some special guests coming in here in the month of March. Tyler Hansborough, Michael Watson, both very excited for those, so stay tuned. We will see you soon. New episodes every Wednesday, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also YouTube. You have anything for the people?
Not at all.
Awesome.
Click, follow, subscribe.
Absolutely. Feel free to leave us a written review, share it with your friends. So anybody that enjoys Missouri sports, we think they'd have a good time sitting down with us every Wednesday morning. So with that, we will see you next time on another episode of Where the Game Lives On.